Hello?
Hey.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a Monday animation process video with my... There's a cat in here. With my
Your cat.
with my good friend, amazing artist, comic book artist, and animator Benny Jordan, right here on my side here. And I'm Jason Dube, comic book artist and publisher, and learning a lot from this man.
I'm learning too. Learn as we go.
Eating chips is in the house.
Hey.
What's up, eating chips? Eating chips, I suspect. Eating with an E. All right. So today we are going to be...
Boning Hudson.
Yeah. We're going to be boning Hudson.
Yeah.
What is up, Gabriel from Your Name Products? He says, hello, both of you from Oak Harbor, Washington.
How you doing?
How is it going over there? Rainy? What kind of weather is in Washington? Is that
Rainy.
like...
When I was stationed in Washington, we had 90 straight days of rain.
90 straight days of rain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might like that. No,
like
maybe
if
90
it ain't raining, we ain't training.
All right. So let's go ahead and grab the screenshot here.
Okay.
Of what you've got going on over here.
So this weekend I've been working on putting together this scene. It's a bit rough right now.
I'll put it on top of everything here.
Yeah, it's one of the opening scenes where I don't know if we're gonna pan down or pan over, but it's where Hudson's at the street light smoking. So this is just the sketch of him right now. I did the street light, and this was meant to be a final version of the street light, except for the light effect here. But my lines are too thick, so I'm gonna have to go through and match my lines with him and the other things. So
which your lines are too thick on what?
On the street lamps. Yeah.
Oh.
So, I might just go through and take some time and erase them, so I don't have to redo the whole thing, because I kind of have it how I like it. A bit beat up, but yeah, the lines are too thick. So that's what I'll be working on when we're not live streaming.
All right. Gabriel from Your Name Products says we had snow last night from 2 a.m. to 8. Oh, okay. Snow and rain over there.
Nice. And so, yeah, that's one thing I've been working on, and we're adding a new character to our new purgatory world. Madame Serena. Jason and I were speaking about this character briefly, and because everybody here in New Purg have died, so we were thinking, well, how did she die? And we were thinking, well, maybe her crystal ball blew up in her face. And so her character will probably have all these glass shards in her face when we do show it, which means I may have to redesign this crystal ball and have it broken.
Oh.
I might. Or when we do show her, when we do bring her into whatever joke or gag we're going to use her on, we just show a broken crystal ball.
Yeah, I like that. Your boy Eating Chips says, is he blue because he was poisoned?
He's blue because he's dead. Nobody asks why the Simpsons are yellow.
How did he punch out?
Oh, well,
oh, how did he die?
Do we want to read that part of the script to him? What? Why don't we go ahead and read? Let me bring up the script and just go over it one more time. So if we have anybody new, they will know. Where is it? Where do I have it?
Eating Chip says, LOL, fun fact, crystal balls do cause fires when they focus sunlight. The real reason they are supposed to be covered.
Well, that's why they're done inside. I've never seen someone do a crystal ball outside.
Yeah, Gabriel from Product, he said, why is he dead? Yeah, so everyone wants to know why he's dead.
Okay, so let's see here. Is this the updated version? Okay, no, this is just the new dialogue. So I'll go ahead and read this. All right, so this starts off with Hudson Grimes, and I'll read you basically his his little monologue. He goes, "Welcome to New Purgatory. That's what the sign on the statue says. They try to make seem nice, whoever they are. Nobody wants to be here in this rundown waiting room. Damn place smells like an armpit's asshole. Nothing ever gets dull here in New Purg, though. Nothing. New Purg, that's what we deadbeats call this slum town in which we reside. When I say deadbeats, I really mean dead. Most folks here think when you go belly up, you're sent straight to heaven or hell. But so many of us lost souls end up here. Me? The name's Grimes, Hudson Grimes. I'm a hard-boiled private dick working case by case trying to make ends meet, attempting to make what's passable as a decent afterlife here in this hole. My backstory is a typical one. In life, I was a hard-working private investigator who got too wrapped up in the job, but I ran out of gas. With work and my marriage, I came home sauced too often, so the wife left me. Yeah, she left me all right. Left me with the hole in the heart, a 9mm hole. That's how I ended up here. And so that's basically his first monologue. So we won't go too much further in that. So his wife shot him.
Ouch.
I could have told you that.
Kenny Chip says, so he was boiled too hard.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this is one thing. So this is the scene where we start off with his monologue. It'll start with our opening scene with the statue of Purgatory, and then I'm thinking we're gonna probably have a pan down from a cityscape, and then come down to this scene, and this stuff over here probably won't be fully in the picture unless I decide to pan over this way. But I'm thinking of having a whole bunch of cityscape stuff up here, panning down, closing in like this while he starts. He's probably going to start his monologue as the that other beginning scene with the statue of Purgatory shows up. And so that's that. This is just a sketch. It's just a placeholder. So anyways, that's one thing I've been working on this weekend. And the other thing, should I share that other scene, Jason, the smoking scene?
Oh yeah, you should.
Okay. So after this, we're gonna cut to a close up, and I wanted to go full on Ren and Stimpy with what they called them gross ups. You know, it's a close up, but it's all gross. And so I was thinking these guys, the characters, they're pretty cartoonish, but on this close up, I want to be very detailed. And I was thinking, well, what type of detail? They're dead. So I kind of zombified him, and so here it's just a close up of him smoking.
Let me bring this down. Wait,
okay.
I'm gonna turn off our screens real quick.
Okay. So what I did is I have two images here. Actually, yeah, it was basically two images. So in Procreate, I drew up this image of his face, which is all just like grossed out, zombified, and I broke it up. So this here we have his head. Let me see if I can get into his group here. Okay, smoking group 2. Now, where are you? Hand is in front. Here we go. So we have his head, which is here, and his head is broken up into two pieces. His head, then we have his neck, and we have the collar. But not only that, we also have, where's his mouth? Head. His mouth is right there. So if I hide the neck, there's the mouth. So I actually drew that up as one thing and broke it up. And then I drew up the hand, which I'll show you in a minute. Let me bring these things back up. Which is, if I just zoom out, you'll be able to see it. There's the hand smoking with the cigarette. So I didn't have to draw out the whole body because I'm not using the whole body. So everything that is going to be shown is within this little rectangle. That's my camera. And so what I did, and there's no sound effects. I'm not even completely done with this yet, but I'll play it for you. So
wait,
that's what we have.
Is that your sound effect?
Yeah, that was just me.
Okay. I'm like, wait, I heard something.
So I'm still working on little floating particles and whatnot. whenever you're like in the at night, you're in there under a light, you see all these little floaties. So still working that out, and then I got to add in the sound effects. And this was done a little differently from this guy, which we'll be working on in just a few minutes. So since this is all a raster image, and the other guy was vector, I had to create uh, a mesh around him. So let me see if I can find it. Where are you? Your hand.
Eating Chip says, "Hell yeah, haha." Yeah,
There's
this was really
Hudson.
cool.
So this is the mesh I had to create, and basically what I did was I put some points around him, put some points around the mouth, and put a couple little points around the inside, and then I went up to draw and did where are you? Create triangulate 2D mesh, and it does that. And so it basically I assigned the head layer to that mesh, and then I can go through and move these points, and it warps down on the key like it down on the timeline down here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. So each of these points is where I moved these points, right? So you can see how the points move. Now I didn't have to individually go through and move all those points. I grabbed this magnet tool here, and this will just kind of grab a whole bunch of points and move it to where I want it to. And then I can go through and fine tune. So that's how this one was done. And then the smoke was done with some, just some shapes, blur, and some liquid shapes, which we will get into a little later. I've talked about liquid shapes on some of them. Oh, let's see. Okay, so that's that. Let me hide that mesh layer again. Play that one more time. Yeah. And then, so after this scene, we're going to cut to basically down here. There's going to be a grate, and it's just going to be a close up of, let me see here. It's just going to be a close up of a grate down here. So it won't be this actual image, but this is where it's going to be. And he's going to flick the cigarette, and we're not going to show him flicking it.
You just show the cigarette.
Yeah. The cigarette's going to do a couple bounces and then fall down into the grate. So that's what that's going to do. What do you need, bud? Yep. Okay. And so that's that. And I'll be replacing this with the puppet that we create, which means I'll have to create a new hat, do another arm and whatnot. So, but I'm not going to worry about that at this moment. So, wife's calling through.
Trouble.
Let me mute myself real quick.
No, we want to hear. Hi, honey. Did you start dinner yet? I'm just kidding. So what's going on? Let me check the comments. See what's going on in the comment section. 9 new comments. Okay. Well, he was in the middle of explaining something. I don't know where to jump in from there, but we do have our voice actor doing the voices for Mr. Grimes here. So when that's done, we'll be throwing that in. We'll be sharing that with you. And we have our voice actor Robert Dixon's going to be doing that. And this whole beginning scene is really starting to take place. So today we're going to be adding the bones to Mr. Grimes here. And when that's done, basically a whole chunk of the animation can really get going because he's the only character in the scene. So, but Benny's really really bringing out some of the details in this with the close up of the smoking and the close up of the cigarette flick. Oh, he's back. Haha, good.
I'm back. My wife thought our van was stolen, but she found it.
Wait, was it one? Did she realize she didn't take it or something?
No, she took it. She just forgot where she parked it. I
Oh.
guess it happens.
Well,
All right.
Happy ending.
All right, so let's get back on track here. So we got that. Let's get back over to Hudson. So now, so last stream I don't believe I had all his body created, and the reason I went ahead and did that was because it's just creating a bunch of shapes, and I showed you guys how to do that with the head. I didn't rig anything up, so I figured I could go ahead and do this. And now we're going to start adding bones to him, and once we get the bones added in and created, then we'll start linking point binding or layer binding and whatnot. And then there are a couple things we're going to have to work out, and it'll be all trial and error, which is like turning this foot and leg and the head and the hat. So we're going to be on him for a little bit. So, all right.
Sorry.
Jason. All right.
Hey, you're the one boning Hudson.
Boning Hudson, yeah.
All right.
Okay. So we want to make sure we are on our bone layer. And we're going to, just like we did with the head, we're going to go to add bone. And the first bone I want to add is called a root bone. And this is going to be the bone that all the other bones are basically going to be parented to. So I could move this bone. I'm just drag it out right there. And I'm going to name that root bone. And as always, I want to bring down that bone strength because he's not going to be moving anything. All right. Actually, I want to bring it in a little more. So I'm going to put it right at that button there. Bring that out. So I can go ahead, once I get him moved, that this bone will, like, if I want him to be placed over here, that's the bone I'm going to be using to move him. All right. So now, let me zoom in here.
Okay, that's easier. I'm trying to zoom in the screen every time.
So now, with this bone selected, we know it's selected because it's red. Go to add bone again, and I'm gonna, for his torso, I'm gonna use basically two bones. So one here, one here. That's for his torso because the spine. That way, I can make the spine move. And I'm gonna do the neck. Oftentimes, I'll use two for the neck, but I'm not going to this time. I'm just gonna go straight up there, right? And then with that one now, I'm gonna go all the way up here for the head. All right. So I want to press escape, and because if I didn't, and that was still red, and I came back down here, this bone that I created would be parented to whatever bone is selected. So we can go here, and it says reparent bone. I'm going to hit this. I'm glad I did, because look, I had a bone selected. I had this eyebrow bone selected before I created that bone. So basically, I'm just going to take, let's see here if I can do this.
So you would have had the arm bone connected to the eyebrow bone.
Yeah. And so basically what I just did is I selected this bone and I held shift and click off, and it just, what was that? And anyways, it took the parent, it reparented it. So this bone is not parented. This is the parent bone for this. And if you can see, all these bones are pointing to the bones that they're parented to.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So now, with this bone selected now, I'm going to do his hips there. All right. Now with the hip bone selected, I'm going to come through and I'm going to do the lace. Let me pull this timeline down a little bit because I'm not needing that right now. So I'm just going to take a bone right down to the knee there. I'll take a bone down here, probably right there, and then right there. Okay. Now there is something that I'm going to have to learn, and I believe it's either a pin bone or a target bone, and it kind of sits right between these two bones here. And what that will do is that will I'll set it up to where it tells basically keeps the feet at a certain position. It's like saying this is the ground, right? So if I move him, his feet will always be pointing or staying on the ground, basically. I
Okay.
haven't learned to do that yet, so we'll be learning that.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So now I want to hit escape so that I'm not on there anymore, and I'm gonna choose this bone again, and I'm just gonna hold Alt and click it. Okay, and I'm still on the add bone, and we're gonna do the same thing we did over there. Here, here, and just here. All right. So I can move these bones, and it's not going to move anything yet because I haven't assigned them anything. How are we doing on comments?
We're doing great.
Okay. All right.
Gabriel had a question about if we had tablets connected to our PC.
No.
Oh.
I don't. I mean, I have a Cintiq, but I don't have like an iPad tablet connected to it.
Oh, that's what I was talking about, Cintiq.
Yeah, I'm using a Cintiq. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to do the arms. Oftentimes, what I'll do is I'll make little collarbones, which can control the shoulders. I would do that probably on a larger character, but because this character is so thin, I don't think I'll need to because I'll be able to probably adjust, make him shrug a little bit with just this arm bone and how I tell the points to react. So add bone. I want to make sure I don't have any bones. See, hit escape. Otherwise, this arm bone would have been parented to that foot.
Oh man.
Okay. Now, where do I want this arm bone parented to? I want it parented to this top chest bone, basically. Okay, because I want it to move with that. So I'm gonna here. I'm gonna go right there. I'm gonna go here for the forearm, and his hands are quite large, so I'm gonna keep his wrist back here and here. Now for this, with Whiskey Jack, I was able to animate his hands open and close.
Right.
That was a learning process for me. That's the only reason I did that. I'm not going to do that with him on this point, because when he walks, he's going to have his thumbs tucked into his pockets, right? So he's not going to be really swinging his arms. He's not going to be grabbing anything right then. When we finalize some storyboards and get them down a little more detailed to what we want to happen, then we'll find out, okay, how are his hand positions going to be. But right now, this is just a general rig.
Just to get him walking.
Yep. So now, hit escape. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold Alt, click on that, and for this arm, because this arm is, oops, what did I do there? Oh. I keep hitting the space bar instead of using my pen, and even though the space bar will move it, if I don't get it fast enough, it starts moving down here on the timeline. So if I do anything,
right,
it's like recording.
Yeah.
So make sure I'm back on frame 0. I want to make sure I didn't put anything on timeline. Okay, good. All right. So now, I almost did it again. Use my new bone. That bone selected. Good. All right. Here. And I don't have to be so specific with it because he's really not going to be moving his arms too much. But we're going to build it that way anyway. All right. So I believe those are all the bones we need right now. All right. So let's see. How are we going to want to? Let me hit escape. So let's start with the head. What do I have under here? Okay, hat, front, face. Okay. So I am going to... because I know I'm going to want to... I'm going to want him to do a head turn. I'm just going to do point binding on this as opposed to assigning the layer to the bone, which is what I did with the other the smoking animation, even though that was a mixture of point binding and layer binding. So I want to go down to, let's see, face BG, face background. So I'm going to select all these points. Well, first of all, I'm going to come here. So right now, I'm going to select the bone I want to bind these points to. So make sure I'm on this bone here. Come down to face BG, face background. That's selected. Then I'm going to choose this right here. It's bind points, right? Now, with my face background selected, I'm just going to hit Control A, which is select all, right? And then I'm going to hit Enter. Now look, all these points change to the color of that bone, right? That's telling me that these points are bound to that bone. Wherever I move this bone, these points are going to move appropriately. Now, there are other things we need to think about, and that is the hat back, because that is on that bone layer as well. So Control All, and with this bone still selected, I just hit Enter, and see all those points turn to blue. And hat front as well. Control All, hit Enter, and then the shading layer. Control All, and hit Enter. So we're going to go to the bone layer. I'm going to choose my Manipulate Bones tool. Uh-oh.
What was that?
Okay, so this, because I'm point binding, these bones don't need any bone strength. So I need to just go take down all the strength of these bones, right? Zoom in a little. Sure, that's down, that's down, that's down, that's down, there, there. Because I don't want these, I'm not doing layer binding. If I was doing layer binding, then I would adjust the strengths of these bones individually to the appropriate, probably to like that. You see how this red is just barely inside it?
Yeah.
But I'm not doing layer binding today, at least right now. So if, let me show you what would have happened. Well, first of all, let me show you what will happen first when I move this now. So now we have his head moving.
Ah, nice.
Right? But there's nothing, none of these other bones are bound to anything. So now if I were to have had this bone strength on, watch what would have happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, why is that?
Because this bone strength is saying, okay, I'm going, these layers, these points aren't bound to anything.
Right.
So if this bone has this strength on it, it's going to grab everything around it and move it.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why I take it off, because I'm not using the bone strength. Hold on.
I like how he growls back.
Oh, damn dogs. Come on, go. Let's go.
Itchy says, "What's up, Total Excellence? What is up, Itchy? We are,
Okay.
well, Benny is mostly adding bones to the body.
Yeah.
Itchy, did you get my? He said, did you get my email, Jason? Yes. So Benny, this is the creator of the. Remember I sent you the pictures of the.
Oh yeah, the alligators, crocodiles. What are they?
Yeah. So Benny's already picked out his favorite. We're gonna be.
I like the big fat one.
Yeah, we're gonna be drawing him on Friday.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back to this.
And Itchy, if you want to come on, I'll send you a link to that on Friday. Sorry.
It's okay. That's all right. All right, so now I want to go down to the neck. I'm done with the head, so I can close that up. And the neck is on the torso layer, so we're working with the torso. All right, so that's shading. Let me label that. Okay, so go to torso, and I'm going to zoom in here because I want to be very specific about the points I use for the neck. Okay, so I'm going to choose that bone, the neck bone. Let me label these bones here. This is head. And to label, all you got to do is select the bone, come up here. And,
You're up there.
yeah. All right. So, neck bone. So, let's go to the point tool, and I'm just going to select the shapes there. And let's see here. I'll probably see, this is the collar is going to get tricky when I move the neck. So I'll be playing around. We'll be doing some trial.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right, because it's not actually inside there. It's
Right. So we'll have to make some smart actions and whatnot. But for right now, I'm just going to choose the neck, hit enter, and then I'm going to come to the shading, and I'm going to choose that point, probably that point there, and we'll hit enter. Because my shading for the torso is just one big giant shape, basically. So, yeah. So those are the points that I want to move with that neck. So let's try it out. Now, keep in mind, it's going to look a little wonky with the collar at first. Okay.
looks like it's working though. Looks like the shading is following.
Yep. All right. So I'm happy with that. Let's reset that guy.
That works.
Okay. Now, let's see here. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to come in here, and these 2 points here, I'm going to make sure that I still have my neck bone selected. These 2 points here, this one and that one, I'm going to bind to the neck. Let's see what that does. Come back up to the bone layer. Okay, well, we'll work with that.
That
we
works.
can work with that. Okay, let's try. Let's take let's come back down to the torso layer again. That bone is still selected. So now I'm going to take this and that. Enter. Come back up to bone layer, and let's try it out here. Now, okay, that's a little much. I'm going to keep it at this for now, because I can go through and fine tune and say, I'll be able to say when the neck comes down, this shape is going to move. So it'll be a recorded action. So I don't need to necessarily bind those to that. All right. So, not perfect yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so now we have, we're going to choose that bone there, and we're going to name that chest. All right, come down to torso. Now I think, let's see here, that and that on up. Let's just, let's take that, and we're going to do this. Choose everything we haven't selected. Actually, how do I want to do this? Do that. We're going to do that. And I'm just circling points at this point because the neck is still on that layer. There. Now I can come down here, and I'm only going to select half of his torso. Enter. All right. Then I'm going to move down, and in fact, at some point, I might want to take the necktie off of these bones and create a bone for itself and give it some physics and whatnot, but I'm not going to do that right now. I just want to get the main thing done. All right, so now we're going to choose that bone, and actually we're going to rename that bone. Let me rename that bone to abdomen. Stomach, abdomen. Abdomen sounds better. All right, and we're going to come back down to torso. That. Now, let's see. I think think we will take these on up this way and here. Enter. All right. Because I think that's where he will be pivoting from. And again, all this will be, some of this may change, some of it may stay the same, depending on how it looks once we get it done here. All right, so I'm going to choose this bone, and I'm going to rename that bone to hips. And let's see here now. I'll take everything here. Everything there. Enter. All right, now we've got that whole torso layer is assigned to the bones. Now I still got to do the shading layer. All right, with the hips, the hip bone still selected. I'm going to take these points, and I think that's it. Enter. And then, so all this might need to be readjusted at some point again. I'm going to switch bones to the abdomen, and I'm going to take that. Yeah, that's it. That's the only bone there, or the only point. And then I'm going to switch bones to the chest, and the rest of these will be there. Enter. That will have to be on the head. So let's do this here. There. That's going to be on the head. That should be blue. Okay. Now.
I got a comment for you.
Yeah.
Gabriel wants to know, are you going to make actions?
Yes, but not at this moment. The actions I plan on making, until we figure out what the actions we really need. So with this puppet, I plan on, we're gonna do a slight head turn, which means all these features will have to move. The hat will have to adjust, and then I am also going to make this leg pivot. So this foot down here will pivot over and look similar to this one. We're going to attempt that. Has Gabriel been on our stream before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he originally started with a different name.
Okay. So if you don't know, I'm still learning Moho. This is a learning process for all of us. I'm just going with what I know now and trying to learn new things as we go. So a lot of these actions, like this leg turn, will be something new for me. And then I plan on using what's called Vitruvian bones. So if you know Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, the guy in the circle, and he's got the several arms. They've got what's called Vitruvian bones, and it's almost like switch layers. So, but you'll have separate bones for different drawings. So I'll have, like right now, his hands are with his thumbs in his pocket. So I'll make another hand. I'm gonna have to make another hand for the first scene because he's actually leaning back smoking, and so I'm gonna have to have an arm up that will move with bones, separate bones than what I've created here. But we'll have to make that drawing in those bones for that arm. So you'll be able to switch out the different arms with different arm bones. So yeah, there will be actions and whatnot. But right now we're just gonna work on a general the general rig right now. So let's see, we've got that. I think let's test it out. I'm going to do the arms. I want to rig the arms first before we move anything. So let's get down into the arm layer. We're front arm. I'm going to choose that. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select this top bone, and I'm going to select everything. Nope. Get on that arm layer, Control A, select all those points. I'm going to assign all those points to that bone, because now I'm just going to come down and select this bone, and then I'm just going to, let's see here, this, I think, is going to be with this here. Select the whole hand, enter. And let's see now. I'm going to select the hand bone. And I think here, because these that point, and that point, I'm thinking are probably, yeah, the wrist. Enter. Okay, so now I'm going to hide my torso so I can see this. There are other ways to do it, but I'm just going to hide it. And I'm going to select this bone. This is, oh wait, before I do that, I want to do the shadow on this one. So keep on this layer here, Control All, hit that. Let's select that one. Now I'm going to select everything else, enter, and then select this, and select that, enter. All right, so we know all those are assigned because the colors. Now I can go to the rear arm, which is down below. Arm. I don't have any shading on that. I might want to change that later, but I'm not going to worry about it right now because this arm is basically always going to be hidden behind him. I could have the whole thing shaded so it gives a sense of depth, but right now I'm not going to worry about it. So we're going to select this bone. I'm on the proper layer, Control All, enter. And the reason I do that is because there were times that I'd select this bone and I'd select this and I'd be moving down, doing all the, doing them like individual pieces, and then I'd move it, and there may have been a point up here that I missed. So when you move it, it like stretches the whole thing. So I've just gotten in the habit of selecting the whole thing. That way I know every point on that layer is going to be bound to at least one bone. If I miss it, then I'll make that correction later. Or if it's bound to the wrong bone, I'll make that correction later. Which these shapes up here, it's going to take some playing with to make it look right, because, well, you'll see once I move. I'm already anticipating. Okay, so this. I want to make sure I'm on the right bone here. All right. That there. Do I want those to be on this bone? Let's keep them on that for now. And I think there. Enter. And select the hand bone. And these points here are going to be my wrist. So everything underneath there, enter. All right. So let's do the legs now. Do I need... I'll just keep the torso hidden for now. So I'm going to make sure I'm on my front leg layer. Front leg. I'm going to choose that bone. And I haven't been labeling them. I'm not going to worry about that at this moment. And let's zoom out. And I'm going to select all. So at the moment, all these points are assigned to that bone. But like I said earlier, I will take care of that right now. Select that bone. And then let's see here. This is where it gets tricky because I have this knee. How do I want the knee to... I think I'm going to keep the knee with that top leg bone. So this will... Actually, I'm going to take this bottom point of the knee. And I think the rest of this... And the foot for now. I might need to rework that. And then select the foot. And let's see here. All these... I think, let's see. This is going to get tricky also because I have different shapes here that will have to move. Let's try this for now. Enter. So that's going to be on there. That should be on the foot maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. All right. Now the shading layer. We come back up here. Select that bone by just holding Alt and clicking that. And I'm on the shading layer, so I'm just going to select all. Select all. Enter. right, just come down here. And let's just do this. Enter. Oh, I didn't have that bone selected. Here. Enter. Hey, come on now. Enter. Enter. Oh, now I need to select it. There. That's what I want. And for this bone, I want probably that and over. And again, we'll fine tune later. Now, let's go down to the rear leg. Leg layer. Select that bone. Control All, enter. Now, holding Alt, select that bone. And then I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to take those and select that, enter. Take that, and let's see here. I think I'm going to take that. There. That's all going to need to be reworked. But let's see. Come back to the bone layer. Okay. Oh, uh-oh.
What?
Okay, so I guess I didn't. I got the shadows on that, but I forgot to assign the foot points to this bone. Okay, so let's go back to the front leg, to the leg layer. That's selected. Those bones are selected, and now they're done. Okay, so back up to bone layer. That don't look too bad. So my plan for this is when he lifts his leg up. See this whole shape right here. I'll adjust to make it'll almost look like the bottom of his foot a little bit. So we'll get a little fake 3D on that. At least that's the plan. Okay, let's bring back the torso layer, and we're going to test out some of these bones right now. So there, see, see, I missed something there.
Oh, what is that?
That's part of his vest. So that needs to be this. That's the torso. Let's go back in here, zoom in here. Okay, and select that bone. Now, let's see. Ah, there you are. See it? Right there. There's the culprit. Enter. All right, let's come back out here again. Give that one more try. So, if I take him, move him around, all the points are moving. Okay.
Nice.
Now, let's see here. Okay. Actually, okay, so we'll have to adjust that knee there a little bit. It's either done with point binding or doing an action. It's okay. All right. Okay, so far I'm fairly happy with this. Okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
Now, okay, that's moving okay. That's moving okay. But you see here, let me show you with the artwork. The reason I'm not going to have these hands move much, although I can, this thumb is actually like cut off because of the pocket. But if I wanted to, and I probably will, when he brings his arm up, this thumb, I'll have it move down out of sight.
Oh, smart.
So, and then see, like here, you see the shoulder here, how it breaks. That's okay because when I go through and we fine tune, which we won't have time to do this time, but probably next time we'll fine tune. I'll give bone constraints, which is saying the bone can only move this far up and this far down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do some smart actions, which will say when this bone moves up, the point right here stretches back a little bit, so it looks like it's still connected back there. Same thing here. These points will stretch, okay? And then, let me see here. Yeah, so that actually works a lot better than I thought it would there. So when his arm comes down, this little part of the muscle, I'll have rotate, all right? It'll either rotate or I'll have disappear. So, and then when his arm comes up like this, I'll probably have that little line there come up further, make a wrinkle, and then this arm will I'll have it stretch out to keep the volume it originally had. So like that, it looks too bendy right now. In fact, that might be solved. Let's try something just real quick. That might be solved with the point binding. So let's go to the front arm. Go to the arm layer. Yeah, look, watch. Okay, so right now, that point right there is attached to this bone. And I'm almost certain. So let's see. Yeah, so I want this point to be attached to this bone. Choose that. Then choose that and hit enter. And I think that will probably work. So let's go up to the bone layer again. Zoom out. And let's move that arm. Okay. I can work with that because that will still be part of his forearm. I'll just during an action I'll have that move down so it'll look like it's still part of that layer. It's still part of the forearm. So when his hand moves back like this, all this will be adjusted to look like it's still part of that arm. In fact, these points will move up. So there's going to be a lot of animation just in, a lot of point animation that we'll have to do to create an action just to get this arm to look proper. Right? In fact,
I think it looks good.
It's not bad. Let's test out this other arm though. Yeah, see that? That's gonna need a lot of work. In fact, that hand was drawn just because I knew it was gonna be hidden. So, if there is gonna be any arm swing, it'll probably just be like this. But for the most part, he's gonna be walking. I'm kind of fashioning this character off of Humphrey Bogart, and in a few of his films, when he walked, he had his thumbs tucked in his pocket. So that was my reason for doing that.
Oh.
All right.
Gabriel says it's getting there.
It is. It's all about fine tuning at this point. So I think that's where we can leave off.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
5 minutes before the hour here. How'd you do that? Here, I can never do that again. That was perfect, man.
Yeah, next one's gonna finessing all the points, getting the head turn and the foot turn and those actions. That's gonna take some trial and error and some time. So,
well, that was pretty. It was actually, you made it look so easy, but I know it's gonna be when I go and try and do.
Well, it's only difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Once you get the gist of it, right? I mean, if you don't know how to do something, it's difficult. Once you learn it, then the simplest things like point binding to the bone. It's like before I knew how to do that, I looked at it and I was like, "That's crazy. How do you do that? You have a plan. You have to plan ahead of time of what you're thinking of doing. That's where storyboards come in hand." Yes, we actually do have storyboards, but the thing is with our storyboards, we've kind of added some stuff in,
Kind of.
but
Yeah.
right now,
Storyboards almost was like a very general
yeah,
place.
the thing is like evolving.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's definitely
but
evolving.
I wanted to get a general rig down. I already know basically. So we're gonna have him holding a glass. We're gonna have him holding a cigarette. We're gonna have him doing this. But I can do all that once I get my general rig down. So I know I'm gonna want him to move his head a little bit and pivot his foot because he's gonna be walking. So once I get this general rig down, then I can start creating the Vitruvian bones and stuff like that, and all the switch outs and whatnot. So, but storyboarding is very important. In fact, we're gonna have to get because I want to get a little more detailed with the storyboards because instead of just okay, he's walking, he's going up to the bar, he's sitting with the bartender. Okay, well, what is the bartender doing now? So that's where I want you to go with the storyboards, Jason.
Okay.
Like, is he standing there? Is he cleaning a glass? Is he leaning? Is he going to be talking to somebody and then turn as Hudson comes up? So, I mean, right now we have in the script, he walks up past the piano player up to the bar, and which is good to get the point across. But this thing's evolving, so
It's
let's.
evolving very quickly
Yeah.
too.
Well, the thing is, we don't have a deadline for this. This is just a passion project. So let's get passionate about it and see what we can do.
Yeah.
So let's,
Well, I'll start fine tuning the that whole scene in the bar in
okay.
the storyboards.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, I was thinking with the bar, instead of a full pan, that way we don't have to build the whole bar. I was thinking just having some cuts to different positions of the bar, showing some gross ups of some of the patrons that are there,
Okay.
and we can have some fun with those characters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That way,
I already got a couple made,
good. Yeah.
so
Okay.
I'll
Well, I
pop
think
them in there.
before I do anything else, I want to save that. Okay. Do you
Bean
have?
chips. Do you have an expected length of the final animation?
Well, we're hoping somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes, if that. I don't know, but
That sounds about right.
yeah.
From the amount of detail that of just the intro to get through the just the short script that we have.
I don't think it'll be 10 minutes. I think it'll be more like 5, but we'll see.
I don't know. It might surprise you.
It might. It might.
It's just getting doing the scenery of the cityscape and going down. That was already like
Well,
good.
once we get dialogue recorded, also, then I mean, obviously, when we get the dialogue,
Right.
we'll be chopping it up a little bit and adding timing and stuff like that. But we can get if we get the audio and it's 3 minutes, we know we're going to be spacing it out a little bit. But then we also know we have an intro, and so it could lengthen out.
Yeah, for sure. All
So,
right. Do you got any plugs?
uh, not today, really. No, just come back tomorrow. We're going to be back here tomorrow working on this, and we'll work more on Hudson here.
Yes, Tuesday at 4 p.m. we will be back. Animation process with me and Benny, and we'll see how our Hudson continues to get bone. We'll be putting the bones into. We're gonna rig him. Good Lord, I can't say one thing without it coming out completely wrong.
Here, hold on a sec. Let me get him ready for tomorrow.
It's gonna be bone. Itchy says 2 minutes isn't too bad and manageable for 2 people to animate. Yeah, 5. So, Benny, what the kind of animations you're used to working on? They're usually between 4 to 7.
No, at work it's 3 minutes 30 seconds tops.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, for the micro learning videos, you don't want to go over 3 minutes 30 seconds. we did just do a welcome video for a certain hospital, and that was more like 5 minutes, but that wasn't a micro learning video. That was a welcome video.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see. Itchy says somebody needs to break 369 subs, hence the number 69 dudes. What's happening here? And Eating Chip says he already got boned. That's why he ended up there. YouTube's going to ban our channel. All right, you guys. So thank you for joining us. Be here again tomorrow afternoon. We'll keep on doing this and working. I'll try and have some new storyboards ready to check out too. So thank you guys for watching. Check out the links in the description below for all the software we use and the links to our galleries, how you can commission us if you want to. We will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Peace.
See you later.
And make sure to check out the Patreon.
Just want to thank everybody for watching it all the way to this point. If you can, like, share, subscribe, comment below. All right, guys, have a good one.